Welcome back to Amanda by Bravo. I am your host, Amy, joined with my co-host, Dom Jen. What up, Dom Jen? How you doing?
Oh my God, Aim, I miss you. I feel like you're so far away, but you're so tan. You have a glass of champagne. I'm so jealous.
I got to be honest, I'm a little tipsy.
Oh my God, this is great. We haven't done this.
I might have been drinking by the pool, however, as one should when they are in Ibiza.
Yeah.
I'm in Ibiza.
I just saw this funny meme about Ibiza, and it was like taking a Ryanair flight from there, I think, or to there, and it was people are like railing lines, everyone's drunk, like.
So like we had on our outline to talk about Philly, but friend, I just like have so much to tell you about this club here. So there's this huge club. If you go to Ibiza, there's this club called Ushuaia, and anyone that's ever been here knows about it. It's like the biggest club. I so self-centered thought that I'm going to be the oldest person here. Like it's all about Amy. I'm the oldest person here. Like obviously that's what it's going to be. People of all ages.
I believe
and we went and saw Armin van Buuren, which I'm sure you probably know a song if you heard it, but it's an EDM show. Even the letters I'm saying I'm unsure of.
This is so wild to me. I saw this on your Instagram story and I was just like, this is not happening. This is happening.
So I just want to preface that my husband's from Belgium and this is his genre. And we're here with his best friend and his best friend's wife. And so Tomorrowland, which is like the biggest EDM show, originated in Belgium and happens there every year. And so this is what they know. And like, I grew up going to like rap concerts and pop concerts, and this was it was so different than anything.
I've been to some EDM ones back in my day, but I don't know if I could handle it now.
No. I feel like you would at least know what's going on. Yeah. It was so foreign to me. And, I just wanted to sit back and people watch because like the show was great. And sure, the music was, my husband's like fist pumping. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Who is this man? I don't know you.
So funny.
And
this feels like the first time Kyle saw me at like a Fish or Dead show. Like he was kind of like, huh. And he's like, this is all the noodling.
And this is, I don't know what noodling means, but this is what I imagined. Like it's your type of people at a different type of show. Like you would know what to do here, even though so there's this guy there. The people were of all ages, and like somebody brought their grandmom. I think they had just gotten married and were having their like after party there. And there was a grandmom there drinking an Aperol spritz. But there's the guy who had done like way too much Molly. Was just like probably 45 and just like
his jaw
was bad. Like going crazy, and he wasn't talking, and he had like a cigarette in his mouth, and then if he didn't have a cigarette, he had a vape, and he was just like feeling the music and doing the weird dances, I couldn't stop staring at him.
I love it.
And then at one point I turned around and there were like, you remember the Saturday Night Live sketch with the two guys in the shirts, like, baby, don't hurt me. And they would do the thing with the dance with the people. I turned around and there were these two, I'd say like Spanish or Italian guys who had sunglasses on, and there was no music playing, but they couldn't stop moving. They couldn't stop moving. They could not stop moving. And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, Meek, is this serious? He's like, oh yeah, it's serious. It's serious. And
the image of Meek fist pumping is just giving me life on this Wednesday.
No, but Jen, you don't understand. It's like a version of him you've never seen. It's like the overbite, the fist pumping, and the like, And so I said I was going to the bathroom. I obviously went to the bathroom, but like I came back and just kind of stood back and was watching what was happening here. It was it was so
I love
wild.
that you got a little out of your element. That's great.
Yeah. It's definitely, and honestly, the DJs were awesome.
Good.
It's so different, and it's cool to see something different. And you can get down with some of the DJ music. You've heard some of it at some point,
Well, that's exciting. Well,
we have nothing to do with Bravo, but
no, it doesn't. That's okay. We do have some things to get into. So last week we had our podcast with Bravo by Gays, but we had been texting a little bit before, which by the way was so much fun.
Thank you.
And that was so good. There were a few things that we wanted to get into, like that are not Bravo related. I don't know how much time we have. I know you're on a little bit of a time. Okay. A little bit of a time crunch. So we'll get into just a few of those things. They're super random, but we were like texting about them and they're funny. And
I feel like we need to get in more to like our random thoughts, because I feel like some of the gals want to hear about these things.
Okay, so we do have a few today, and then we'll talk a little bit about, we got to get into the Mormons because that was my entire weekend. It was great. Didn't have to drink in like 4 or 5 days, which I feel so good about. We can maybe talk about that offline. And then
meanwhile, I've been drinking for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, something has happened recently with my anxiety that it's just not allowing me to happen.
Good for you.
Then, kind of. And then the Real Housewives of OC, of course, this was a really heartbreaking episode.
Yeah.
Just seeing we'll get into it, but it's just fucking sick. And I just have a question about Real Housewives of OC regarding John Jansen versus Tom Sandoval, and we'll get to that later.
I like that.
But let's talk about. Okay, so you were in Philly for, I guess, an Usher concert.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were asked out by a 20-year-old, and then you also had messaged me talking maybe about like our Philly, like guys in Philly are hot, and I just want to go on the record and say, yeah, they fucking are. Like,
so this is what happened. You go
Philly
first.
guys are. I just think I think I even had this conversation with my cousin one day. We have totally different types, her and I. I think she's like,
I mean you.
No, like I think she kind of likes more of a like a finance bro. Like,
are we talking about Lindsay? Because this is so funny. I'm wearing this dress that Lindsay, shout out Lindsay, friend wore on a trip to Europe this summer that I hit her up for and said, where did that dress come from?
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Love.
Shout out Lindsay.
Yeah. And so but like, I just started thinking about guys in Philly compared to, I don't want to shade anyone in San Francisco, but like we got brains, you can't have it all. You can't have brains and beauty. And so the guys in Philly are just, they're fucking hot. There's something so like not dirty, but like, no, it's not dirty.
It's
I don't
not
know.
dirty.
Every time I'm there though, I do feel like a little bit like my head's a little on a swivel.
But I think it's like, it's also like what you know and what you grew up with. So this is what happened. I go to the Usher concert. I walk into Xfinity Live, and I live in New York where the finance bros are just like coming out the wazoo. That's never been really my thing. Even if you did look at my husband, you might think that's what he looks like.
I don't know. I don't think.
Because he can wear a fitted. And so you walk into Xfinity Live, and it is like, it's so big in there too. It's like I walked inside and I was like, oh my God. There were so many
guided what to happen.
fitteds. There were too many fitted hats, too many Philly jerseys.
Are there ever too many Philly jerseys though? I'm like,
well, there was a Phillies game happening at the same time.
Yeah, like if there's a guy in Philly gear, like sure, take me.
Like here I am, and I'm looking, and I'm like, so Philly guys are my type. Like I mean, I know that I'm married.
Like clicked.
It's just like it hit me that, oh, this is my type. Like we love a little blue collar, we love a tattoo, we love a little scruffy beard, we love a backwards hat.
We love a sweatpant with sneakers.
Don't get me horny.
Because I actually was talking to a friend out here who's also from like the Philly area about this. And I said something of, it was when Bad Bunny came into work, and that's kind of what he was wearing. It was just kind of that outfit that like, and she was like, of course, it was a gray sweatsuit with sneakers. And I was like,
but like, that's also like hip hop culture was part of Philly too, we just, and like the thing in New York is like, you could get that in the boroughs, but like these douchebags that come in that you're going to the bars to, like, I don't give a you're a tool. You're a tool. It was like I died and went to heaven and walked in that place.
At Xfinity, which is so funny. This is a great
because
call out for Xfinity. So sponsor us.
I walked inside and I was like, I just kept turning around, and then all of a sudden, this little boy.
Getting me excited for Philly.
I know. This little boy was like, "Hi, how old are you?" 32, and I was like, "Yes, I am."
Yes.
And then he started talking to me about how his high school girlfriend broke his heart, and I was like,
"Oh God,
am I the like pedophile teacher? What's happening? This feels so uncomfortable." I was like, this is so weird. And then he ended with, "Can I get your Instagram or something?"
No. Or something.
He had curly hair, and I almost wanted to ask him if he got a perm, because you know how that's like in right now.
Oh, so good. Well, you do look great. So it's like he probably definitely did not think you were your age. Not that your age is bad, but
no, but I mean, I said, "How old's your mom?" And he's like, "She's older. She's 45.
Older. Oh my God. Okay.
And I'm like, I'm a pervert. I'm a pervert. I'm a pervert. But anyway, so basically our type is men from Philadelphia, I think. You walked inside and I just like didn't know where to look.
Yeah, Philly guys are really hot though.
No. That's really, that was the moral of that story. Do you know what this was the other thing I forgot to tell you that I wanted to talk about. We met, so we're sitting there and it was like me and my two girlfriends, and we were being goofy as hell because, you know, we have nothing to lose. We were all married, blah, blah. And we're just being goofy. And these older guys were like talking and like, "Oh, you guys going to the Usher concert? Oh, look what we have." And they whipped out their, let me preface this. Their all access pass. They were the truck drivers of Usher equipment. And I was like, "What is this?" And I said to my friend Carla, shout out Carla. Carla's the MVP. She's like, "I'm going to try to get us in with these guys and see what we can do." So Carla puts on her charm as she can. And we're like talking these guys up, like, are they going to get us in? They weren't, but they were telling us all about what happens on the road, all about how, like, for an Usher concert, it's different. They have to be on the road for 3 or 4 months. And I said, "Who's the best person you toured with?" They said Pink was the best person they toured with, which actually tracks. They said they won't see Usher on the entire tour. He won't come and like have food with them, but Pink would always come in and have catering where they have catering, and that Usher just like is surrounded by security. I know. And I was like, you know why? Because Pink's a Philly girl. That's what I said.
That's
it was just super interesting. Anyhow, what else?
I think I just had one grievance before we get into it. Maybe it's a few grievances. I almost lost my shit going up the escalator the other day. So anyone in California or really anywhere in the world,
New York,
if you're riding an escalator, you are to get, if you're just chilling, get to the right. Get to the right. I lost my shit the other day. I was like in a rush. No one was moving. Even when I said like, excuse me, I was trying to be like kind of nice. No, I was like, oh, and then I just kind of lost it. And then I ran up the stairs so fucking fast because I was like, I don't want to deal with the aftermath of this. And then I'm in, this has happened a few times now where I go into my yoga class and I lay my mat. It's like a weird time during the day because it's like my schedule's opposite of most people's. So I know that it's not ever going to be like jam packed.
Yeah.
And like 3 times now, someone has come like inches behind my mat when there's an entire room. I'm like, what is going on here? What, like, why? Like, get some spatial awareness. Anyway, this is just a PSA to like be a little bit more mindful about your spatial awareness.
And demure.
Be more mindful and demure. Wow, this really plays right into that. So
it does. Yeah. But I couldn't agree with you more because so we just went through the airport earlier in the week, and that's where you see the douchebags just act like complete fools. And
why do they not know to move to the right? Like,
I don't know if it's like, because in New York, people are usually good about it. You go to like, if you're in the city and you're the escalator, you'll see the escalator on the left or on the right is jam packed, and everybody on the left is moving.
Yeah.
I'm usually a right girly. It doesn't shock me that you're a left girly.
Oh, I could never just sit there.
Doesn't surprise me.
Oh my God. Philly is actually the best with speed and getting off that elevator or the escalator.
I think even compared. That's okay.
I don't know, because every time I'm in New York, I'm shocked at how many people are still in the right, whereas in Philly, no one is. Yeah, everyone's just like,
well, I mean, this could get us started on the people that stand up after planes.
Okay. Keep going.
I'm with you. I hear you. I'm with you. I see you. And I'm on the same page. Do you want to know what my grievance of the week is? That's what we should do. We should call this Brock. I think Brock, our producer, should highlight this as our grievance of the week. We'll have a new segment called Grievance of the Week.
Okay. Most people are waking up having gratitude things, and we're like, you know,
we don't need that.
We don't need it.
We're not here for that. Okay, my grievance of the week is I just want to preface and say I'm a feminist.
Okay.
So this could be controversial. Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing gives me the ick more than when you have a boyfriend that doesn't want to drive you.
I don't know anything about that.
If you're a woman and your man's like, I need you to drive me around, he has a small penis. That's what I think.
Who is this? Are you talking about someone specifically? Yeah, I guess.
No.
Oh, okay, no.
Maybe.
As a passenger princess, I can't relate to this.
You deserve to be a passenger princess, and nothing irks me more than seeing a woman not being driven around like the passenger princess she deserves to be. I'm sorry. I'm a feminist, and I believe in
On that note, speaking of driving, Tesla drivers, start paying attention, please.
Wait, did you think that's where I was going to go?
No, I knew it had something to do with driving because we had talked about it. And then it reminded me that all Tesla drivers are the fucking pits.
We talked about that in LA.
Like the white
as
Tesla
we were.
drivers.
It's so weird.
I don't know what it is about the white ones, but
that's also very specific to it's funny because when I came back from LA with you, it's very specific to certain cities. Like it's not everywhere that there's a million Teslas driving around. Like that's obviously it's in SF and it's LA was way more than even New York, but like Philly, you're not seeing many Teslas.
That's all we have here.
Yeah. But it's like a do we have any more grievances?
I think that's good on our grievances.
I think that's cool to come up with one grievance a week.
Yeah.
Well, no,
life is
that
tough,
just like a complaint?
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. There's a lot of Bravo news happening right now.
Okay,
what are we talking about? Oh,
do we want to do Mormon wives first, and then Bravo, then our OC?
I feel like we should. Okay, yeah, good.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, so you saw. I'm so bummed for you, but
I know. I just want to say that I only saw an episode and a half of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and I want to say, in my opinion, this is the best piece of reality TV that I have seen in years.
Oh, even over Love Island?
It's up there, but it's different because it's Love Island. You're like watching people fall in love. This is like watching people's. It's like Housewives. Housewives. Yeah. Somebody said this. Kate. What is it? Reality TV. Kate. Yeah, Kate Casey said it's like Teen Mom meets Real Housewives, and that is the perfect explanation. I just think this is whoever produced this came up with this idea. This is TV gold.
So I didn't know about Mom Talk before. Did you?
No, neither.
Okay.
I remember hearing about this weird little
swinger scandal.
Yeah, but it meant nothing to me. You know, you're like, I don't know.
I had no idea. And then even I was watching with a friend Saturday night. We binged like almost the whole thing.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
It was a really nice like Saturday night. We just ordered food, watched that show, ate like a full edible, and just sat with our dogs. It was really nice.
Is this Eden? You guys do the
Yeah.
best things. Oh.
And actually, though, she had a comment that she was like, Whitney is the Janet of this show. And I like wrote that on and it was so accurate. And I'm here to say that I'm pretty sure she said it first. I started commenting on like people's stuff like pretty immediately. And now people picked it up. And I really think that she is I think she created that.
And explain what you mean. Shout out Eden. Explain what you mean when you say that. That's very specific.
She like stirs the pot and then plays victim. Like is like
very manipulative.
I was like, so manipulative and just But let's get into didn't know much about Mom Talk before. There was a swinger scandal that I guess had happened like 2-ish years ago. And then she said that my friend that I was watching with said that she does remember that there was a lot of backlash online to Whitney, actually, the one we were just talking about, because she had posted a TikTok dancing with her son or daughter in the ICU, I think, with like RSV. And it like didn't hit obviously well on the internet. And so she got a lot of backlash. And so that was like another big piece that happened before this show. So now these girls are like coming back together they took a break from Mom Talk. So it was like these 4 girls originally doing this dances and whatever in Utah, took a break. So after the swinger scandal, then Taylor, who's like the main girl, kind of had this like breakdown, ends up getting arrested. They actually put the show on pause. They just did one.
Okay.
I learned this on the Viall Files.
Okay.
I really recommend that listen because Taylor gives so much context to what's happening that I think the show really missed out on, because I think the show was advertised to us like we were going to get to know the swinger scandal, but they don't. It's talk like referenced, but they don't ever explain it. Like they just assume the viewer knows about it.
And they don't say like who was involved. And she said, she said on the Viall Files, like, I'll never name who it was.
Oh, I got it. It's on Reddit.
Oh.
And it's none of the girls in the show.
Oh,
so it's no one we know. So then they pull these like, so once they get back to filming, they weren't sure how they were going to move forward, whether with or without Taylor. They end up going with having Taylor in there. They bring these girls back together. There's like the original 4 plus 2. I think Demi and Jessie were the 2 additional ones, and maybe Jess or Jen Affleck, I think. Don't quote me on that. And so then now it's like all these girls, 6 or 7 of them. And it just kind of like follows their lives a little bit. But my big takeaway from this whole thing is like Mormons, I feel like why even have the rules if you're going to find a loophole in all of them? So you can't get a tattoo, but you can get filler and Botox. You can't do drugs, but you can do ketamine treatments. You can't drink caffeine. You can't drink caffeine, but you can have 44 ounces of soda every couple hours. You can't have sex before marriage, but once you are married, you're basically expected to put out whenever your husband wants it at any time.
And the other thing that they talk about, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen at the Mormon college.
BYU.
Yeah, they do that thing called what's the thing? It's called oh my God, I can't think of the word. Soaking. Which is like
so weird.
You're having sex.
You're
just not thrusting, and there's somebody like what this is why I really feel like this TV show is so good.
I know, it's just kind of frustrating when you think about the rules. They're so arbitrary. It's like, why
every religion has the most arbitrary rules, and I feel like
I think the reason this one is so there, it's just like when she went to go get that ketamine treatment, but couldn't.
Oh God! See, I don't even know what this means. This ketamine treatment.
Her and like 2 of the girls, Demi and Whitney, went to go get like ketamine treatments together. And then even when they get their Botox, we both have gotten Botox. Have you ever gotten laughing gas?
What? No.
Exactly.
You don't even get numbing.
No. So when you get like a piece of ice, maybe.
You get a pack and they're like, hopefully this numbs the.
Yeah. And yeah, seriously. And when they get their Botox, they get laughing gas.
That sounds great.
I'm like, so they're all like trying. And then on top of that, they're putting it on TV and their TikToks with these like weird dances and like some of them like not even fully clothed. And it just, the whole thing is so wild to me. Like Mormon culture is just.
Watching the first episode and a half, it was so disturbing to me. Like I did feel like I was watching Teen Mom. I know these girls were in their 20s and married, but they looked like the girl Jen Affleck. She's what, 22, 23?
24, I think. And her husband is maybe the most problematic on the show.
That's what I'm reading. So I get back Friday. All I can think about is what I'm doing Saturday and Sunday. Like this is it. This is like my Instagram's blowing up. Our Instagram's blowing up. What they're saying about him is kind of crazy. And watching them with these, like, they're like, I have 2 babies. The poor girl who said, I have 2 babies and I've never had an orgasm.
And she's divorced and she's 22 years old, divorced with 2 kids. And a lot of them have been divorced and they're in their early 20s. It's so crazy. I mean, Demi has been divorced, but she's 20. I think she's 30 now.
Yeah.
Also, her husband is Angie Harrington's ex-husband.
Yep.
Like, and I guess she interviewed for Housewives, but it just wasn't a good fit.
And I heard her say that she talked to Angie about the experience.
Yeah, so they must have a good relationship.
If it was a good fit for her. That's nuts. There were all these memes like who's going to host the reunion. This show, and people that said like Heather McMahon.
Gay.
Heather Gay. Who the fuck's Heather McMahon? Oh,
I think isn't Heather. I was gonna say, isn't she from WWE?
No, she's a comedian.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and Whitney Rose. Like, what a great combination! That would be amazing. But I think I think Heather would be.
Yeah,
but I don't like. This is all what Heather was doing. This is the Heather that got us in trouble. I think it's also like if you watched Real Housewives of OC. We had an introduction to what this was.
Wait, you mean Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Oh, I'm sorry, Salt Lake City. We had an introduction of what to expect. So this wasn't like Real Housewives of Salt Lake City walked so this show could run.
Totally.
And we had that introduction. We saw what we were going to expect. But the fact that these people are still in the church, I'm surprised. Like this Taylor chick, she is fucking problematic. Not let alone for the church, but just in general. Like
the real problem child is Whitney. She is like by the end of the season, you're just like Taylor's kind of fine. Like she has her own shit to figure out for sure. But Whitney is like so woe is me the whole time. And like she even makes a comment about how Taylor has more clout than her. And she's just so obviously jealous and
Sheena vibes.
And like she's more like, cause Sheena can be like, woe is me, but I don't know that she plays the victim in the same way that Whitney does. And like, Sheena has never really been the villain per se. She's just always been like kind of like a little annoying peanut gallery girl.
Yeah.
Where, sorry, Sheena.
Shout out Sheena.
But Whitney is just wait until you watch the whole thing. I can't wait to get and like her confessional outfits are so bad. And then like her husband who has in the first like episode, I rewatched the first episode last night. She has been cheating on their entire marriage. Their entire
I also
like, with who?
Does he and this is like, what team is he cheating on her with?
That's exactly what I want to know.
You
know, it's none of my business, to be honest.
And it's not my business. But if we were to speculate, I would speculate that he was batting for the other team, as they used to say. Can you still say that?
When he said, when they're in the, wait, what does he say? They're like driving the car. He's like, he goes, I am buzzing. I am psyched. I was dead. They're like in the car driving.
And even when he like,
do you know what part I'm talking about? When he says
that, which episode was it? When they were driving to move,
and he goes, "I am buzzing, I am psyched,"
and it was his first scene.
SOS.
I'm like,
SOS.
sir, abort.
I was so scared. It was a wild ride. I mean, Taylor and Dakota have a lot to work out for sure. Taylor's. I really recommend the Taylor on Viall Files because she answers every single question in detail that they ask her.
I am excited. I can't wait for this weekend. I'm going to have a lot more to say. I think I really do feel from the episode and a half that I watched that this is the best piece of reality TV that we've seen in a long time. I'm saying it.
I think the other thing you're going to like, is Michaela is going through a chronic illness and just like a lot of testing, a lot of doctor's appointments, not really getting to the bottom of it. So I don't know if it's going to be helpful or triggering for you, but I'm like, you could at the very least relate.
Did they ever figure out what it was?
She's still like on the journey. It's like a skin condition.
Oh no.
Yeah. Soda shops on every corner was another
what
big
was
takeaway.
This about? I saw the soda shops. Is that for caffeine, like coffee shops?
So they can't have coffee and they can't drink. So they go to to soda shops and they all have their specific order, like half ounce coconut, half ounce vanilla. I'm making this up right now, but like 44 ounces. I don't know. There's like all these different flavors that they can put in it.
This is stuff in Real Housewives that we didn't see. Because this is crazy shit.
Yeah.
One thing
that is the same as, this must be a Utah thing. Because all the housewives in Salt Lake City have this too. But their homes are so sterile. They remind me of like a doctor's office.
This is so funny you say that because
I don't like that aesthetic at all.
No.
That's like so not my vibe.
My friend loves houses and sells houses and stages houses, and she calls this type of house where it's like a new development build. She calls it a cookie cutter style.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what it is. Like every house on the block looks exactly the same. It was built by the same builder, same developer. Like it looks exactly the same, and then they and even Whitney's house, if you think about it, is the same thing. I don't like that either.
That inside everything's like white and gray, sort of.
And
I don't like that at all.
Outside black shutters, like no.
The white and gray inside, like sterile look. I literally am like, am I gonna get blood taken here? What's happening? It's an actual doctor's office.
Well, there might be some other things taken. I don't know if it's blood, boo.
Yeah. Well, that's I guess we could wrap that up with that. I mean, it's just so
next week.
Demi is definitely my favorite so far. But
I have to figure out who my favorite is. I'll see. Next week I want to talk about Selling Sunset too.
Okay, I haven't watched that, so I'll watch that this weekend.
Yeah, we have a lot of reality TV. There's also this movie with Nicole Kidman.
Is that out?
Yeah. What's it called?
Oh, it's windy out here. Wow.
Oh.
I'm not sure what it's called, but I'll watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it like a dark? Oh, it's The Perfect Couple. It's that book by what's her name? Lorianne Moriarty or something. She did 7 Strangers.
Okay.
No, okay. It's a book I read. I know.
I know this.
I've actually finished I'm on my 4th book in the last month and a half.
We need to talk.
Okay. Want to talk Bravo?
Let's talk Bravo. So the first thing I want to start with, Lala has her kid, and she said,
"Oh God, here we go."
Okay, so
how pissed were you about this?
I don't know if I was pissed, but I was like,
just like, what the fuck?
So Bravo and Cocktails had a poll and was like, guess the name because it's going to be something similar.
I thought you were going somewhere else. Never mind.
Oh, I don't know the somewhere else.
I thought you were going to talk about the Beyonce thing.
Wait. What did she say about Beyonce?
she didn't release the name or like the birth date or whatever that the baby was born, and like said that she wanted to wait until after Beyonce's birthday because she didn't want, like, it wouldn't have been acknowledged, and it was just so unhinged that she thought that Beyonce and her baby have anything to do with each other.
Or that Beyonce's birthday. Oh my God.
That's why I thought you were going to be pissed. But you were going to talk about the names, like the Bravo and Cocktails poll.
She is insane.
Have a sip. Oh, it's definitely much emptier than it was when we started.
Dish. Jesus God. So she said that the baby's, I can't even acknowledge that she even put her name and Beyonce's name like in the same sentence. Blows my mind.
Yeah, wow.
How cute.
She's so out of touch.
Like no one that's following you is following like Beyonce's way. Anyway.
Yeah.
So she said that her name was going to be similar to her daughter. The name of the new baby is going to be similar, and the baby's name is Sosa, which I think apparently it's Armenian. Right? Oh, see, I saw it was a gender neutral Brazilian name that means like of the sea.
Okay.
And ocean, sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the name Sosa?
That's fine. I thought I saw like one of them in that same poll was like, because I guess she had a photo of her hugging a tree or something. And
boy, oh my
she
God.
Like her and I think like, I don't even know. Okay. Basically they were hugging a tree. Whatever. That's fine. I've hugged a tree, to be honest. So
would you take a picture of it and post it on Instagram? No.
Well, people were saying that it was like maybe a hint. And so then that's why the name Sequoia came up. And I was like, actually, that's a really cute name. Like,
I like that.
I like that name quite a bit. Too bad
my friend's dog was named that as a.
Oh, really? I don't have any thoughts on the name or her baby. I just genuinely don't care at all.
Okay.
Either way. Like I want her to be happy, fine, whatever. I am so past her in my life that like I just don't care what she's doing.
Totally fair. Okay. With that being said, I feel very similar. And Ariana has since gotten, last week we were talking, hey, Ariana's new gig. We're waiting for it. We know what's going to happen. What's it going to be? This chick is hosting the after party of the Emmys, I think on E! News.
Yeah, it is on E!
What? She's an E! News correspondent, Ariana?
My literal dream job.
Like,
maybe not for the fashion or anything, but just like I would love to be on like the panel that they do like on E! News. That'd be so sick.
Ariana, the things that are coming for her, every single week we're waiting for a new announcement, and every week we get something, and it is so good. It's so good.
I know. I feel like she's definitely, I'd be curious to see like if she has a contract with Universal at this point, as opposed to like Bravo.
That's
because
interesting.
Peacock, you know, like because Love Island was under that umbrella. E! is under that umbrella. I mean, Bravo still falls under that umbrella, but
true.
And speaking of Vanderpump, I guess a little bit. You saw they are straight up filming. Everyone keeps calling it a spinoff. I'm like, it's not really a spinoff. It's the same exact show. Or just going back to basics. It's not a spinoff. To me, a spinoff is The Valley. And
I think they're saying a spinoff because it's a different cast. But again, like you said, it's just back to basics of what it is.
Yeah. I don't like that people I don't know why it's annoying.
So they announced, like Bravo and Cocktails has said that they've caught wind of cameras going up in the Sir Alley with a whole new cast and all that fun stuff. And me and Jenna have been pushing this as our narrative for months. Yeah. Almost like a year, probably.
Yeah. And I think they said from what I read, the entire cast is coming back for that final season. So I guess that maybe means Ariana as well. I really hope that they don't bring back Sandoval.
Ew, and his like little girlfriend.
Yeah, I think I would like to think that he's done enough damage that Universal can walk away.
And what? This chick that he's dating now is going to be there and they're going to try to get clout from this. I'm not down for that.
No, I'm not either.
I'm not really into that.
Not into that.
What else is happening?
Dr. Nicole is leaving.
Jen, I saw this. Obviously, we've seen it in Bravo and Cocktails for weeks, but I saw it today officially announced, and I was thinking about you.
Thanks.
How you doing?
She just brings so much levity to the thing, and I just am curious how, because not everyone gets along, and she sort of could be in the middle, and I'm curious how they're going to move forward and sort of bridging that gap.
Yeah, I really liked her. I loved her style.
Yeah, and she's just so rich. She is. She's like the richest one on that show for sure. You know?
Yeah.
What else? Amanda Batula partnering with Target. Yeah,
so
she's
Amanda, I don't know if you've
busy.
I don't know if you've seen Amanda Batula this week, but she's been all over New York Fashion Week. Like she has been out.
Did you hear? She like called out her meds. She was like, "The meds are working."
Did she?
Mm-hmm.
Really? That makes me so happy for her. We know how we feel about meds. Like this is amazing.
I agree.
Oh, that's so interesting. Good for her. I've seen her Instagram. Obviously we follow her, and it looks like she's been at almost every event this week for New York Fashion Week in her realm. And I saw today that she was doing a partnership curated by Amanda Batula for Target. So she like pulled pieces and was there for, another New York Fashion Week event. Living her best life.
Yeah, I'm really happy for her.
Did you see the
She's so pretty cool.
And her style? Like we want to see this.
She had a pair of jeans on with that big cuff at the bottom. I don't know if you saw those.
Of course I did.
The only thing is they were like a low rise, and I would want something a little higher because I just still have that like bottom belly thing, and she definitely does not. But
her style, you could pull off every single one of her outfits, her bags, her hair, she should be your style icon if she's not.
She is. It's just
I see it
affording the pieces. Thanks.
But Target's like a perfect in between, and she gets a lot of her stuff from Free People and Anthro, I think.
And I can get that on Depop. All right. Exactly. Well, time for Real Housewives of OC.
Other Bravo news. So there was this weird random submission. I didn't even talk to you about this or put this on there. Weird random submission on Bravo and Cocktails that Danielle and Carl were dating.
Oh, I saw this.
I don't believe this.
No, this is
I don't believe this for a second.
No.
And other people were saying that their friends had gone on dates with Carl, and it's just like,
yeah, that's not true at all. I didn't believe that for a second.
I don't believe it. No, I didn't.
Whoever wrote that in, you suck.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, let's get into OC. Because, I got dinner reservations out here in Ibiza.
Yes. Okay. We open with Heather at her house with her kids. I do like seeing, although Heather is definitely starting to really rub me the wrong way, I do like seeing her
just
and her
starting.
Okay, but it's just and seeing her like that in their parent dynamic. I like seeing her.
Okay,
but other than that, she really is like. I mean, all of these women, I feel like this season with this whole Shannon thing, maybe with the exception of like Jen, because she has so much of her own shit going on. I just am so disappointed with how actually Nick Viall was talking about this on the podcast yesterday. Just really disappointed with how little the women are doing to sort of stick up for Shannon. It's like, yes, we acknowledge that drinking and driving is bad, but someone needs to like really like, I know it's coming, but it feels like it should have already been done. Someone really needs to be saying to Alexis, like, yo, like, cut the shit. And I know Emily talked about it this episode, but it's like, I just hope it's not going to be too little too late.
I feel like Emily and Gina have had her back, and it's interesting because in seasons past, she hasn't done. There's always been conflict there with Emily and Gina, which is interesting now that they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have your back." I also didn't realize
when you see anyone this broken, though, it's like none of the conflict matters.
It doesn't matter.
I would really hope that
100%.
most women would stick up for another, like, regardless of the history. Like, this is just not like, this is like playing with real fire here.
And that's why you're always like, I don't know about Gina or Emily. And I'm always like, I feel a certain way about them. I feel like they're authentic. I feel like they're tried and true, where they're just more, I think, more people we could relate to than the Heathers and the Jens and the definitely not Tamra.
Tamra doesn't miss a beat to talk shit on Shannon either, though. Like, in all of her confessionals, even, it's like, why are you not talking about anything? Like, the thing is like, she doesn't have a storyline, so she's only going to be talking about Shannon, but she talks about her in such a nasty way. Like, she's not even just talking like facts. She always has to be just really mean spirited in all of her confessionals.
It's also, why did you go to dinner with her and try to make amends? What was the point? What was your point of trying to go to dinner with her and do this whole sob story? Come to my party, come do this, blah, blah, blah. It was bizarre. And then like you said, every single second that she can, she's ready to go right at her throat.
It's so wild.
I just don't. This episode was very jarring. It seemed like it was Shannon versus Alexis the entire episode. And Alexis is so petty talking. Okay, so you mentioned this in the outline where they make their big debut, and who in their confessional said like, "Oh, I didn't know you needed to make your debut at a red carpet with Gina." And she's like, "I didn't know, like, John Jansen never went to a red carpet debut, but like now, like, he's going to go to more debuts because it was their red carpet debut."
Yeah, and Gina makes a funny comment about it.
It's so funny.
That implies that, like, are you going on a red carpet tour?
Right. That was such a good comment because everyone's thinking it.
Yeah.
Like, and what? So then Shannon makes it like, I bought him those shoes. To your point, we all would say this if that was our ex-boyfriend.
I think that's, I wrote that in the outline.
Yeah. If that was our ex-boyfriend, we all would be like, I bought him those shoes and I spent money. 100%. And then shady ass Heather Dubrow gets on and says they weren't even that expensive. I think they were on sale, $350. It's like, you shady bitch. Why do you even have to say anything? Just shut up.
We need to. This is why she needs to go to Beverly Hills. She makes these ladies who are not poor look poor.
She makes them look like yes, it's great point. She makes them look so poor,
You're not
which is
poor.
Insane. No. And then the one thing you didn't mention is that Emily has another iconic moment. We're sitting there.
I knew you were gonna bring this up.
It's so funny. Like, you sit there and said to me, "Is Emily funny? Is Emily funny? Is Emily Simpson funny?"
I still don't think it was like that funny. I felt a little forced, but I still like Emily, and
you think it was forced? This is just who she is.
Felt like
you're asking about perfume scents, and she dead ass thought.
I think she knew how well the hoagie in the sauna did, and like the food comments, and it's part of her like shtick, and the producers will play and editors will play into it, and it was a perfect moment to deliver the taco line. But like, I do think that the cameras and the response to the hoagie and the sauna was like played a role in this for sure.
I don't think you know that this was
the
woman was asking about perfume scents, and she says like tacos. I really like that they're meaty and juicy. This one, like, iconic line. It's gonna go down in history. Okay. I just another relatable line for any girl that has a little meat on their thighs. Emily is the one. She gives us the goods.
I was really jealous that they were at Sonoma. I'm excited to go.
What?
I'm like really excited. It got me so excited to go to Sonoma. I'll be there in 3 weeks.
So then there was all this shade that it wasn't actually in Sonoma. It was in
It's still in Sonoma County.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw on some of the blogs that they were talking ish that it wasn't in Sonoma.
Guerneville is in Sonoma County.
Okay.
Maybe they weren't like in downtown Sonoma the whole time, but that's
But even when I was in Sonoma a few years ago, we weren't in Sonoma.
I mean, think about like a county. It's big.
Yeah. Anyway, we get Gina putting her foot in her mouth and telling Shannon. Shannon comes back and starts talking to us about what happened and how she tried to make a settlement with John. And she's really this was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It was so sad. And it didn't hit me until I started seeing the blogs afterwards saying that this is basically extortion. That John is holding.
How is it not?
I just like it didn't hit me. I don't know how to say it in another way that I didn't think like, oh, he's threatening her with this video and saying, if you don't pay me this money, I'll destroy your life.
Yeah.
And Gina says something about the video, and I still was surprised. You know, John Jansen's whole thing is that Shannon's trying to take him down. Any of us that have been watching for the entire season, I still cannot wrap my head around what John Jansen thinks that Shannon is saying that's so awful.
Well, this is what
She's barely even bitching as an ex-girlfriend would. Like, what is she saying that's so terrible?
I do like that in real time, because this doesn't always happen on these shows. Like, I feel like often we could be yelling at the TV and then they have to bring it up at the screen or something. But in real time, it feels like the rest of the women are acknowledging what we're acknowledging. We weren't talking about him. He didn't have a reputation until Alexis brought it on. And I think it's Gina or someone in their confessional saying, like, if anything, Alexis keep bringing it up, by her
keeps making it a topic,
making it worse. So it's like Shannon's actually not the problem. Alexis is the problem. If you want to be going after someone, that's who you should be going after, Mr. Johnny J.
And then they cut to Alexis saying, I told him, you know, I'm a good person. I told him to take the plea deal.
Yeah, she's such a fucking narc. I hate her.
And to see you next Tuesday. And then they say Gina's
how is she not turned off by this? Like, if you were dating someone new and he continued to go after his ex after she also offered a settlement and it's so public, like, wouldn't you kind of be like, you know what, like, let's take a beat. You got some shit to figure out. I can't be in this. I'm also on a show with this woman and I'm watching her break.
I think it's also even the fact that you would go after your ex for money. Yeah. That would be a turnoff to me.
Totally.
Like, you guys were together at the time.
Yeah.
You were living together. You were splitting bills. Like, that's like, what would you do to me? That's all I would think about is what would you do to me if this tables were turned? Because you can do the same thing to me. And instead she's like riding or dying for this tool bag who wears Ferragamo loafers and douche central. And then so they tell Shannon, hey, there's a video. And that's when Shannon says, like, she loses it and says she has to call her lawyer.
You could tell that this was not, I didn't think this was produced. I really think Gina just like thought that
it's because they've all been talking about it.
Yeah. You could tell it was like, oh shit.
Yep. And Emily's like, oh my God, don't say it. She says it. And Shannon's like, what video? And I had a question for you. If you were in this situation before this blackmail piece, would you have given the $75 to just shut him up?
$75, $75,000.
$75,000. Yes.
$75. Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on how much money I have. Like, as Gina points out, like, they're all telling her to just give her the money. And Gina does at one point say, like, it's not just about the principal. Like, that's a lot of money.
And she has kids in college.
Yeah, like that.
3
I
girls
don't
in
know
college.
what their salaries are, and so I don't know what the $75,000 would be like equivalent to my life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't maybe because I just would want to, like, if I had that kind of money, like, I don't know. I really have no idea. I just hope to never be in that position.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
The only thing that I can equate it to, which is probably not the same thing, is like breaking up with my ex and like leaving everything with him just to get out, including my dog, which is so fucked.
Yeah.
But like the blackmailing piece is the part that I don't know if I could get down with, and not.
Like she would have a lawsuit against him for the blackmailing.
Right.
You know?
This whole thing is it's just so fucked. And
it gets more fucked when she shows that photo to Heather Dubrow.
Yeah.
The night of.
Yep.
So what was so let me just set the scene a little bit, and then I want to see if if I was kind of reading the scene correctly. So like she has the accident. It's like seconds after she leaves John's house. The sound goes off. I think what she's saying is that he should have been able to hear it.
Yeah, because she's saying it's right around the corner from us. Not even.
Not even. Catty corner to his house. So it's right there. Ends up sending a photo. I'm assuming it's when she gets home, of her face completely. No. Oh, when? Okay. So
she said that after she hit, she basically got concussed and blacked out and doesn't remember sending the photo.
Okay. So she did it in that moment.
Yeah. Or when she got to the hospital, but she said she didn't remember for like a few hours what happened.
Okay, so then on top of that, he doesn't respond, I guess, for a couple hours or whatever, in like the middle of the night. He claims that he fell asleep. My question though is, didn't cops come and like an ambulance?
Mm-hmm.
So he just slept through it all.
Scumbag.
I mean, that is.
But this is what I mean, like Alexa.
This just poses the question, though.
And Alexis, this is what you're signing up for. I want you. Like, do you know, girl?
Is John Jansen worse than Tom Sandoval? I think he is.
It's almost in a way because, like, you think that he's older and should know better, and he has kids, right? And like he's
for as shitty
reproduced.
And for as shitty as Sandoval is, I can't imagine him ignoring a photo if Ariana.
He's too much of a narcissist to. It's almost like which is worse, having a narcissist.
But I do think that, and believe me, I fucking hate Tom Sandoval.
Yeah.
But I do think if Ariana got in an accident right outside the house, he would genuinely, not from being a narcissist, would run out there and figure out how to help her. Whereas this situation is so dark.
I think
so I think he is worse than Tom Sandoval.
And I think the thing that's making it worse is that Alexis is going to bat for him.
Yeah.
And she is making it worse. She's the one saying like, oh, we should be going to bat for him. Like everything's fine. He's a good guy. He's doing everything right. He is such a good guy. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to see it's going to be better. His name's going to be cleared.
She's making this so much worse for him.
She's making it terrible for Shannon.
And for herself too, because the internet hates her so much.
Good. And to see Shannon come and say that she had to settle and just said, give him anything he wants. That was so.
Without actually even seeing the video.
Yep.
Like, what if it wasn't even, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't great, but it's like, also, they say
this wants to be done.
You know what? Now that we're talking about this, is confusing because in the video they say that she almost hit his daughter.
Yeah,
but his daughter also didn't run in and wake him up. The whole thing is so, you know what I mean?
There's more to but maybe there's more to the story, and maybe that's what Shannon's afraid of. I just don't know what could happen to make my opinion change of Shannon at this point. because
Well,
like I feel like I'm Team Shannon.
Yeah, and it's just like because we also acknowledge that whatever is on that film is not going to be great. Like no one's out here thinking that it's
gonna
good.
suck.
So him hanging
she made
it
a
over
terrible
her head,
decision.
Yeah, like it's just I don't know.
We have a few more episodes to come this season with Real Housewives of OC. There's so much.
When does Salt Lake City start? Is that next week?
I think October.
No, it's September.
Oh, so we have.
I think Bravo by Gays posted 7 days from today. So what's today?
Okay.
Wednesday?
So then we have Salt Lake, then New York, then Southern Charm's coming. Like we have a jam-packed schedule coming up. I got to go to my dinner reservation, friend.
Get it, girl.
I'm jealous.
Okay, I can't wait to like catch up off air.
In real life.
Yeah.
So weird not to be. Me and Jenna will be back with an all-new episode next Thursday. If you don't already, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify at Bonded by Bravo. Like us and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Bonded by Bravo Pod. YouTube, you can catch our full episodes on YouTube through Hurrdat Media on YouTube. And I think that's it. We'll be back next Thursday with an all-new episode, friends. See you then.